Aloha class. All right, here we go. 2021 AP Calculus AB free response questions. Here we go. I'm going to kind of do these really quickly. I've got the problem here. What you guys can do is look it up because I think what I'm going to do is go to a blank screen just so it's easier to show work and keep all of the work together. All right. So if I were you, maybe pull the question up on a blank screen just so I'm not screenshotting, putting it all crazy. I just kind of want to get after these problems and see how okay this test was. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go to my blank screen here. Okay, here we go. So question one, when I'm looking at it here to the side, says the density of a bacteria population in a petri dish at a distance r centimeters from the center of the dish is given by an increasing differentiable function f, where f of r is measured in milligrams per square centimeter. Values of f of r are selected. Values of r are given in the table. Okay, and awesome. The first question, and remember, this is an ABBC question, but first question, they're like, let's hook you up. Let's help you out. We've been studying this like crazy. They ask you to find f prime of 2.25, which simply is the slope, right, between the two values that 2.25 is in between. So hopefully you guys remembered that of all of the questions, this was a very common one. And if you do the math, what do I get there? I get 10 minus 6, which is 4. And then I get a half, which is equal to 8 spling spling. Now, they did ask for some units. And remember, I talked about this ad nauseum in class. So in the numerator, f of r is in milligrams. Okay, this is milligrams per square centimeter, so centimeter square. And in the bottom, it's your radius, and that's measured in centimeters. So hopefully you said this was milligrams, okay, per centimeter squared per centimeter, or per centimeters cubed, okay? Now they did also say to using those units, interpret the meaning of your answer in the context. All right, so we're taking the derivative of f. Now, what do they explain f to be? Well, they explain here that f is measured in milligrams per square centimeter, and it is the density of a bacteria population. Rather than write this out and take some time, I'll just say it for you, and hopefully you wrote down the same exact in your AP little booklet, and it is the density of bacteria population in the circular petri dish. Since I got a positive 8, I would say is increasing at 8 milligrams per centimeters cubed when the radius, not time this time because it's radius, is 2.25. Boom. My best guess is that would be worth 2 points. So you're 2 out of 2. Okay. Let me go ahead and scroll through here to see what part. B is asking, okay, got it right there. All right, so part B says the total mass in milligrams of bacteria in the petri dish is given by the integral expression 2 pi integral from 0 to 4 of, oh snap, they threw a little curveball in here. Remember, I told you, they're going to throw some curveballs. But it's just a right Riemann sum. And if you look here, they added an r to it. So if you look at your table, it's like 0, 1, 2, 2.5, and 4. Then we got 1, 2, 6, 10, and 18. So the little curveball, though, is simply, if we're going to do this, and it's going to say four subintervals. So 2 pi is a constant, so we're just going to keep that bad boy out there. And then my first subinterval would be from 0 to 1. That's still a width of 1. And what's the height? Well, interesting here is the height is going to be 1 times 2. That's all you had to do. Now, if I go from 1 to 2, that's a width of 1. And the height would be 2 times 6. That's it. Plus, so you guys are probably feeling really good about yourselves right now. The next one is 0.5, but then it would be 2.5 times 10. Right? That's all you're doing is r times f of r. And then the last one would be 1.5 would be the width, but then it would be 4 times 18. Boom! Donezo. That's all they asked you to do. That'd probably be worth 2 more points. All right, let's go to C. This one's not too bad. You guys probably were feeling pretty darn good about yourselves right off the bat. Guess what? You actually got to use your calculator for that, right, you guys? All right, here we go. Let's check about what C is asking for. C is says, is the approximation, over or underestimate? We know this. All right, but the interesting thing here is C, right, is asking me about the integral. We're doing the right Riemann sum, right, of R times f of R, okay? So now, I just really hope you guys did this because I'm sure you guys all knew that this right here is an increasing function. And since it's an increasing function, our RAM, right, would always be an overestimate. So I think you probably would need to say this, okay? Is you would need to say not only is f of R increasing, okay? R is increasing. So if I combine f of R times R, that also is increasing. And since it is strictly increasing from 0 to 4, and we're using a right Riemann sum, it would be an overestimate. You know, my best guess, would that be worth a point? And so far then, I'm going to have to erase some of this, okay, you guys? And so far we'd be at what, 5 points? So maybe one of these would have been a little bit more than just worth 2 points, because I'd be surprised if part D was worth 4 points. But let's be honest, I haven't looked at it really much other than last night looking at the questions, being my classes dominated these bad boys. All right, so what do we do now? Okay, this one might be worth more. The density of the bacteria in a petri dish from 1 to 4 is modeled by this right here. All right, so my best guess, this looks pretty intense. So I should put that bad boy right there into my calculators. Okay, so I'm going to put that in my calculator. And then they asked me, average value. And it wasn't even like tricky. Straight up average value, which is the integral divided by the interval, right? So it's just simply the integral from 1 to 4 of this g of r guy, right, dr, all over the interval. And it says that we want to find the value where they're equal to each other. So all I would have to do is set these two bad boys equal to each other. Now they call this guy g of k. Well, that would just be putting a k in there, right, class? So let's see if you guys got this right. I really hope so. And this would be a 9ers out of 9ers, right? Very capable of getting a 9 out of 9 on this one. So let me get out my calculatoras. Let's clear this bad boy. I'm going to go to y equals. Let's type in this first function, which is 2 minus. If I type in something wrong, you guys, this is my first go at it. Please email me and let me know so I can fix this video. All right, and what's that? It's a square root. Square root, I'm going to be careful here. Square root of x. And then we got to be real careful with parentheses, it looks like here, right? We've got to close it after the cosine, after the, and then there, and then we're going to raise it to the 3rd power. Okay. And then I'm going to clear out that bad boy. Okay. And then I'm going to go second mode because I need another value. I need the average value. And remember, the average value would be the integral, okay, from 1 to 4, okay, of my function, which is alpha trace. We've done this stuff ad nauseum, right? So this is just straight buckets equals, and then I'm going to divide by the interval. Hopefully, guys, it'll be 3. Okay, and so there's my value, 9.87579468. So what should I do? Stow it, right? Because we don't have a final answer yet, so I'm going to stow it in alpha A. So hopefully you wrote all this down in your little booklet, and then all I need to go back down here to is to my graph, and I'm going to put alpha A here, and I just want to know where these two dudes intersect, right? So let's go to window. Let's fix my window. And what are we dealing with here? We're dealing with just x of 1 to 4. So it's got to happen between 1 and 4. Okay. And then if you looked, it's kind of easy, but I'm just going to go to 11. 0 to 11 because it was 9 point something. Do you guys remember that? So if I hit graph, oh, come on, intersect, come on. And then I'm a 9 out of 9 on the first problem. Let's go. Give me them toes. Uh-oh. Oh, there it was. Phew. All right, so the answer is where these bad boys intersect. So it's just second trace. Let's use that intersect button, number 5. Enter once, enter twice, enter 3 times. And the answer would be 2.497. And you don't even have to stress about rounding or truncating. But that would be the answer to that problem. And do they ask you anything else? They don't. Now, my best guess is that would be worth about 3 or 4 points. So there you got it. Question 1 on the A, B, and the BC exam.